So you're going to get more done in those few hours than you've gotten done at any other time. Everybody else is all checked out and you check in. وَابْتَغُوا مِنْ فَضْلِ اللَّهِ. But that doesn't mean you become worldly. وَاذْكُرُوا اللَّهَ كَثِيرًا. And remember Allah a lot. لَعَلَّكُمْ تُفْلِحُونَ. So that you may attain success. وَإِذَا رَأَوْا تِجَارَةً. This is the last ayah of the surah. And this last ayah of the surah is very heavy. This last ayah is about an incident that happened in the Prophet's time, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Muslims are a mix of people that have been with him for a long time. They're a mix of new companions, young people, and this is happening in Medina, and the Prophet's giving his sermon, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and they don't realize how important it is to attend the entire sermon. The injunctions, the specific injunctions about not talking during the khutbah, not leaving the khutbah being a part of salat, that hasn't been internalized yet. It's just early on. There's an early inauguration of the Friday prayer. So what happens is there is a trade caravan. Trade caravans are basically nowadays, how you have the computer expo, or you have the car expo, and you have these centers and thousands of people go and attend these things. We're in Texas, we should talk about the gun expo, or the hunting expo or whatever, the fishing expo. And people go, enthusiasts go, younger guys might be familiar with Comic-Con, right? Or what's the other one? Evo? I don't know what's it called. The video game one? Right? Thousands and thousands of people go. And it comes once a year. It's not a weekly thing. And back in the day, they had convention centers. We have convention centers. Back in the day, they had camels just walk by. Elephants, camels, just passing by. You're like, oh, Comic-Con is in town. From Iraq or something. So Jumu'ah is going on and a caravan is passing by. And there's all this and when these things happen, how every booth has music blasting. And they've got confetti and free candy and all this stuff. So it's it's commotion. It's commotion. So the people are sitting in Jumu'ah, and some people see the caravan settle down. And now there's two kinds of people. There are people that are business people. They're business people. When business people see those kinds of conventions, they see an opportunity for networking, making sales, making connections. They go for business reasons. But then there's another kind of crowd there too. What's the other kind of crowd that goes to these conventions? Faltus, the extras, the insan farigh, insan fadi, the guy with no purpose in life. Hey man, there's a convention, let's go. There's a car show. We're going to sit in a car, then take a picture, then put it on Facebook. And thus our purpose as human beings will be fulfilled. There's that crowd. Now the first people that get up, so the halaqah was going on, and Allah says, وَإِذَا رَأَوْا تِجَارَةً أَوْ لَهْوًا. When they saw business or entertainment. So which of the two did he mention first? Business. Because the first people to be attracted towards that are obviously people that are going for business. But now 10, 12, 13 people are standing there talking about something, and the guy that's has no purpose in life, he's a college student, he looks at that and goes, hey, 12, 13 people talking there, something must be going down. Let me go check it out. Why are all those people gathered there? Let me gather there too. So let me go see what's happening. So the next wave of crowd comes not for business but for entertainment. So the first draw was business and the second draw was entertainment. So when they saw business or they saw entertainment, انفضوا إليها, they rushed towards it. They broke off towards it is the better meaning of the word here. Infadda ila, infadda min. There's two expressions, okay? So for example, in Surah Ali Imran we learn lanfaddu min hawlik. They would have broken off from you. The Prophet is told the Sahaba would have broken off from you if such and such thing happened. Infidad is used when glass breaks. When glass breaks and the pieces shatter, they break off from the original. When glass breaks, can you put it back together? You can't. So when you break off in a way that the gathering that was originally there can no longer be recovered, that's called infidad. When Allah says infaddu ilayha as opposed to saying sa'u ilayha, sa'u ilayha, asra'u ilayha, they rush towards it. He says infaddu ilayha, meaning they broke the gathering of Jumu'ah and they disrupted it in a way that it could not be recovered again. What we're learning then is Disturbing Jumu'ah or disturbing that kind of gathering takes very little. And when people start walking away from it, it's an irreparable distraction. You know, when people start walking away out of a speech in numbers, like one or two people, somebody has to go use the bathroom, some kids going crazy or whatever, you take your psycho child for a walk. That's normal. Okay? There are some parents who are, subhanAllah, they've listened to their children yell so much, scream so much that they become deaf to it. So they don't hear it. Everybody else can hear it. They can't hear it. This kid's in your arm and it's going, wah, 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 like fire alarm. Like you can't hear yourself talk. And she's holding him next to his head and he's like, Auntie, could you take him for a walk? Please, please, just a little bit. You can come back when he, is not the Hulk anymore. You can bring him back. Fine, some people leave, but when people start leaving in rows and rows and rows, is that distracting to the one speaking? Is that even distracting to the people that are trying to listen? Of course. انفضوا إليها. They rushed towards it. وَتَرَكُوكَ قَائِمًا. And they left you standing. Left who standing? Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Now the beginning of this surah told us, why does the Prophet how does he do what he does? يَتْلُو عَلَيْهِمْ آيَاتِهِ وَيُزَكِّيهِمْ وَيُعَلِّمُهُمُ الْكِتَابِ وَالْحِكْمَةِ. All four things come together in Jumu'ah. All four of those things unify in Jumu'ah. The Prophet is reciting the ayat onto them. This is a cleansing experience. He's teaching them something new. He's giving them a reminder. The fact that they're acting out, they're actually in the act of obeying Allah Azza wa Jalla at that time in Jumu'ah. It's in and of itself a hikmah. They're fulfilling that entire legacy every Friday. So what we're seeing, the Prophet ﷺ has a strategy, has a mission that he was given and how to execute it. But the way to execute it in the most effective way, or one of the pillars of that execution, is Jumu'ah itself. How important is every Friday khutbah? SubhanAllah. Every Friday khutbah. It's so important in every community. It's such a huge amana. The biggest responsibility, in my opinion, in American masajid, the biggest responsibility is an amazing khutbah every week. It better be a really, really good khutbah. In the spirit of having understood what the Prophet's mission was, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, in light of Surah Al-Jumu'ah. This is the surah about Jumu'ah, guys. This should dictate our mentality about Jumu'ah prayer. And what it's supposed to. And unfortunately, one of the most neglected, responsibilities in our communities, the chandeliers are being imported from Italy, the carpets are coming from Persia, the marbles being imported, the parking lots being repaired 4 times over, but there's no investment into what? The khatib itself, the khutbah itself. And the khutbah is more about the organization than it is about about Allah's book. It's more about the fundraising about anything else. It's sad. It's more about politics than anything else. It's a violation, really, of this sacred responsibility that we all have. Anyhow, so they left you standing. وَتَرَكُوكَ قَائِمًا. They left you standing. قُلْ مَا عِنْدَ اللَّهِ خَيْرٌ مِنَ اللَّهُ وَمِنَ التِّجَارَةِ. Tell them, what Allah has is better than entertainment and better than business. You see, in the beginning of the ayah, business was mentioned first. And then entertainment was mentioned. By the end of the ayah, Allah says, whatever Allah has is better than entertainment is mentioned first, and then business is mentioned. Why? In that particular incident, it was a trade caravan. So obviously, who's more interested? First, traders. Secondarily, it has some entertainment value. Right? But the entire problem of Jumu'ah is remembering Allah. فَاسْعَوْا إِلَىٰ ذِكْرِ اللَّهِ. In remembering Allah, you have 2 distractions. You're busy at work or busy entertaining yourself. Which is the more common culprit? Which is the wider culprit? Entertainment. Some people are business. Some people are really busy at work. All people get distracted by entertainment. So we went from a specific incident where the bigger culprit was business. So business was mentioned first. By the end of the ayah, we're talking about the universal problem. And the more universal of the two is entertainment. So Allah says, whatever Allah has is better than entertainment. قُلْ مَا عِنْدَ اللَّهِ خَيْرٌ. Allah here didn't even say. Now who did they leave behind? They left the Prophet behind, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the best khatib on the planet ever. They left the best khatib on the planet ever. So Allah didn't even say, قُلْ مَا عِنْدَ الرَّسُولِ خَيْرٌ. What the Prophet has, his khutbah is better than your entertainment. Go back and listen. Allah said what Allah has is better. This is huge wisdom from Allah. Why? Because the Prophet's not always going to be giving the khutbah. It's going to be a really boring khatib one day. There's going to be a guy whose Arabic is terrible, whose tajweed is bad, who's speaking a foreign language. I used to go, when I was in college, I used to go sometimes to a masjid, Masjid Medina, 2nd and 11th. The khutbah was in Bangla. I don't speak any Bangla. But I had a job nearby and that's the only masjid I could go to. And I used to sit there and listen quietly to the khutbah in Bangla. And I'm not going to talk or walk away or forget this. No, it's Jumu'ah. It's Jumu'ah. I don't care if you get it or not. It's Jumu'ah. You're not doing it for anybody else. You're doing it for Allah. That's it. It's the end of it. You can complain, we should have better khutbahs. Come on, they're in America, they should speak English. Actually, that little part of Manhattan is Bangladesh. It's not really America. So that's okay. They can do Bangla there. قُلْ مَا عِنْدَ اللَّهِ خَيْرٌ مِنَ اللَّهِ وَمِنَ التِّجَارَةِ. And it's better than business. وَاللَّهُ خَيْرُ الرَّازِقِينَ. And Allah is the best of all providers. You know what's really beautiful at the end of this? What provision has Allah talked about most of the surah? The revelation. The Prophet's company, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. What he does for you. What he offers you. He offers you, the ayat of revelation. He offers you cleansing. He teaches you the book and the wisdom. That's the ultimate rizq. Guidance. Those 4 things are guidance. That's the ultimate rizq. Wallahu khayrul raziqeen. Allah is the best of all providers. Subhanallah. So as we conclude this surah, inshallah ta'ala, I just wanted to tie up. Allah mentioned, basically in the beginning, He mentioned the methodology of our Prophet ﷺ in those 4 things. Then He mentioned when you don't execute this methodology, a community becomes hollow, so they carry a book on their backs. And they start becoming worldly and they get scared of death. And then Allah mentions at the end, the way to maintain the spirit of that strategy of the Prophet ﷺ is the institution of Jumu'ah prayer. So these 3 things are actually very logically connected to one another. And having said that, inshallah ta'ala, we conclude our dars on Surah Al-Jumu'ah. Hopefully I can finish Surah Al-Munafiqun in one session. Also 11 ayat, but also a very heavy subject. Barakallahu li wa lakum fil Qur'an al-Hakim. Wa nafa'ni wa iyyakum bil ayat wa dhikr al-Hakim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.